Be able to offer people the opportunity for pain relief, right, and improve their quality of life.
Dr. Renee Detky. She has a doctorate in natural health. She's been empowering people with her knowledge. But before I was ever a doctor, I was a patient. And that's how all Hello, 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 and welcome everybody to Natural Talk with Angel. I am so excited today to bring our guest to you, Dr. Renee Detky. She has a doctorate in natural health. She's been empowering people with her knowledge to improve their health for over 15 years. Her office is located in the Ortega Medical Arts Building, otherwise known as Wise Pharmacy. So welcome, Renee. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you. Good morning, Angel. Good morning, listeners.
Good morning. So Renee, I guess we'll get started with your story. Why natural health? What made you get into this arena?
Oh, that started when I was very young. I have an aunt that's a naturopath who kind of guided me along from, I would say, around age 18. And we won't talk about my age now, but yes, yeah. And I've always eaten better than my peers, but now my peers are different than they were in college. So
awesome. Now, Renee, I went onto your website and I found a lot of great information, which, by the way, I will be posting her links to her website and all her contact information under this video. But I seen something that it was a little different. I'd never actually heard it called this way, empowerment through body chemistry. So what exactly is that?
what I do with most of my clients is I empower them. I'm just a teacher. I teach them how to live healthier, whether it be learn meditation, get some exercise in your life, change your diet. And a lot of times we can do body chemistry testing, whether it be a urine analysis, a blood test, epigenetic test, and look to see what's going on. Where are you? What can we change? Where do we need to upgrade things? You know, my favorite thing to do with people is increase their energy. And everyone should have plenty of energy. When you don't, that's your body telling you, hey, something's going on. Figure it out. You know, do a blood test. Come in and I'll sell you some PQQ and we'll try some CoQ10. There's all kinds of things that can increase your energy. But don't stop until you figure out what it is. And that's what empowerment is giving the person the responsibility for their own health, empowering them with the ability to have their best energy, have the anti-aging ability that they want, to live the longest, healthiest life. So my goal isn't just long life, it's a long life with lots of energy.
I know that I have went in to see you. We did a consultation, and by the way, she's absolutely a pleasure to work with. She was very informative. She did a test, a toxicity test for me. It blew me away. I knew I was toxic because, you know, come on, none of us eat the way that we should. And at this point in stage of my life, I am making more strides to change that in my diet. There's some things that have come up for me personally that I have to. I need to do things different. But when she gave me this test, I was off the charts, man. You couldn't get any more red for toxicity than I was. And I really didn't think that I was all that bad. I knew I was toxic, but I didn't think it was going to be like, you know, off the charts. You know, I was the deepest red there was on that card. So if you want to know where you are, she can definitely help you with that. And it was really inexpensive. It was what, $15 I think I paid for this.
Yes, and that's a basic urine test that you test your oxidation.
Yeah, it wasn't no blood.
Literally, you can do it at home, and it's kind of a balance between antioxidants and free radicals. And if you have more free radicals than you do antioxidants, then you're going to turn up really red.
Wow.
And that is a pro-cancerous environment. That's the kind of environment that cancer can take hold. I'm a big believer that when someone's healthy and cancer, and we're all going to come across cancer in our lifetime. If cancer or small molecules similar to that, the abnormal ones, come across your pathway, if they diagnose you, then you go on that chemotherapy trail. But if you catch it, or you have super antioxidants and you're not toxic, and you can continue to learn and educate and change your lifestyle, whether it be meditate or improve your antioxidant, your oxidation level. If your body's not a cancerous environment, then cancer's just going to pass on through, because we will all come across it in our lifetime. Hopefully it won't touch and change your life, but we're all going to come across it. So part of what I teach all my clients is anti-cancer strategies. I like to get people before they come across cancer, but that's not always possible. But once you've had cancer, then people have to figure out, how do we prevent it from happening again?
Right. Now, are you able to help somebody who maybe didn't come across you prior to being diagnosed with cancer? Are you able to help them in changing lifestyle and diet to make a difference in their cancer treatment?
Oh, of course, and everybody has to make their own personal decision. And I'm a big advocate for educate, learn. My favorite thing online is direct people to Chris Wark, Square One on YouTube.
Oh,
he is amazing
awesome.
Cancer educator.
Yes. Oh my gosh, he is awesome. I love him. And yes, anybody out there who needs answers for healthy alternative care, as well as not everything that he talks about is strictly alternative care. He does have information on there for both, and how to combine them also, depending on your type of cancer, your issues. He is awesome.
Exactly. Trying to figure out what in your particular lifestyle has brought you to cancer.
Exactly.
Now, I have one client that he was exposed to 3 Mile Island. Well, at this point in his life, he lives nowhere near that, but he has to deal with where he is. So yeah. And there's, am I going to stop his chemotherapy? No, of course not. But there are all kinds of changes that can be made to strengthen his immune system, to improve his antioxidant, to decrease his toxic load. Yeah.
Right. And all of those make a huge difference. And even how the chemotherapy affects someone. So it may not
definitely
have as harsh and severe side effects if you're able to improve other areas in your
Right. And there are also avenues you can take to help your body to recover from chemotherapy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. That's awesome. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your services overall, because you offer a few different things here.
Oh my, I have 2 groups of clients. One group is basically healthy, and they exercise and they try to eat right and they research on the internet, and they come into me and they just want me to test them and tweak them. And we do that, improve a few things, make sure you're doing as great as you feel like you're doing, because it's nice to feel great. But when I see it in lab work, then I go, okay, yeah, you're good. But trust me, I look at your lab work different than your medical doctor does. And then I have a different group of client that they've been to 16 different doctors. They're chronically ill. They've tried all kinds of things in the way of pills or prescriptions, but now they're willing to make the lifestyle changes that I can guide them through. I don't make the changes for them. I'm just the teacher. They do the homework. And so when I have a great success story, it's not me, it's them taking responsibility, and they've been empowered now. They understand how they can control their inflammation in their body, how they can keep their autoimmune disease turned off so that they don't have the symptoms for the autoimmune disease.
That's awesome.
And what all do? I love to improve energy. I treat people on the Beamer. I do all kinds of body chemistry testing. I love to take people with autoimmune and bring them back to feeling great again.
That you just said something a moment ago, which leads me into my next question, the Beamer. I want you to tell us about the Beamer, because I found it very interesting.
Yeah.
I've never heard of such a thing before, and so I think it's awesome. Go ahead and explain it to us.
Well, Beamer's been around about 20 years. It's been in the States for, I don't know, 4, 5, 6, depending on, and eventually I think we'll all have a Beamer. And Beamer stands for Bioelectric Magnetic Energy Regulator. And it's two parts. It's a mat that you lay on, similar to a yoga mat, connected to a computer, and the computer has 5 different patents in it. Well, what the Beamer does during the 8 minutes that you lay on it, it improves your circulation by 27%. Well, that sounds all well and good, 27%, but I exercise. If you run a marathon, you improve your circulation by 12%. And not too many of us run marathons. So you think 27% is a lot. Before getting the Beamer, I had Raynaud's. And Raynaud's is cold hands, cold feet, basically bad circulation into the deep areas. But it also means cold brain, which would leave me more susceptible to Alzheimer's. So for me, it's made a huge difference. I feel like my skin is the best it has been in my life. My hair is thicker. My energy is amazing. And I will never stop using it. I've had it for 2.5 years. And I spend 16 minutes a day on it. 8 in the morning when I wake up and 8 at night just before I go to sleep. What it does for most people is just increase their circulation. But when you think about what increased circulation can do, the fact that it gets nutrients deeper into the cell. And it also allows, when you move your circulatory system around, it allows each of your cells to detox a little better. When they realize that river of life is moving instead of being stagnant, they begin to dump more toxins. Well, those toxins are some of the things that are cancer causing and some of the things that are disease causing, and they cause inflammation. So the less toxins you have in your system, the better you'll feel. And Beamer reduces inflammation all over the body. We're only supposed to share our personal stories with Beamer. For a long time, Beamer wasn't even allowed to advertise. But if you're interested in Beamer, Bemer, pull it up on YouTube. And you can watch YouTube videos about Beamer until you fall asleep.
I did. I actually did watch several of the Beamer videos. And there's one in particular that shows you they were able to do, I guess it's like an ultrasound or something, where they were able to see the blood flow of the small capillaries and veins.
Oh, yeah.
And how, stagnant really it was. I mean, it was pushing, but it looked like it was really working hard to push through there. But then it went back and they went on the Beamer for 8 minutes, got off, and they redid the ultrasound. And now, I mean, it was like a little river just flowing. It was awesome.
Exactly. Yeah, when we are born, and really what it's doing, it's changing your capillary contractions. It's helping with all our electromagnetic fields and computers and Wi-Fi and radio signals that go through our bodies all the time are a high frequency. The Beamer is a low frequency, so it brings you back down to where we're supposed to be. And that increased circulation is capillary contractions, vasomotion. When you're born, you have someplace between 10 and 15 contractions every minute. And when the majority of us reach age 60, we don't even have one contraction every 10 minutes. And the more inflammation you have, the slower that is and the worse it is. So people with diabetes, they have extra inflammation and less contraction. And this is why their wounds, especially in extremities, have the hardest time healing. And people with toe fungus, it's not just that the fungus is down in your toes, it's that it's stuck there because the capillaries are having such a hard time moving things out. So even if you get the fungus under control in the rest of your body, you may still have it in your feet unless you have a Beamer or unless you're under 30 years old. People that are younger have better circulation. People that are older have worse circulation. That's part of what makes us so brittle as we get older.
Well, and just so everyone out there knows, there is an inexpensive way to do this because Dr. Renee, she offers your first time on the Beamer complimentary. You can go right into her office at Wise Pharmacy, right behind the Publix office 17. And after that, it's only $10 a session. So that's awesome.
Yeah, if you go out to California, Beamer sessions are $75. If you go to New Jersey, they're $60. But I want it available to everyone. Personally, I like to sell them. To really have the biggest benefit, you need to do it on a daily basis. So unless you live really close to my office, or you have nothing better to do than come in and do the Beamer, yeah, eventually people will have Beamers in their homes. It's going to be the coolest thing in anti-aging you and I see in our lifetime. And I'm hoping my children, there will be better things. But for us, yeah, it's the best thing in anti-aging out there.
Well, I can't wait to get back on the mat again. I did have my complimentary one, and I'll tell you, it was just laying there. I didn't feel anything other than maybe a little bit of, I don't want to say tingling, because it wasn't tingling like if your fingers go numb. It wasn't like that. It was just, I don't know. I felt some kind of energetic movement, I guess, for lack of another way to explain it, in my fingers.
It's just increased blood flow. I mean, when you get better blood flow, your extremities feel warmer. But that goes the same for your pancreas. It is amazing for people that have diabetes or people that are trying to heal their intestinal flora. To heal that gut, to get better circulation, or to get circulation deep inside your pancreas, the Beamer does a lot.
Well, that's awesome. Y'all go check it out with Renee. Try it out. See if it's something that you want to incorporate into your daily life, or at least a few times a week maybe. And it's very cost effective. Only $10 a session. Is that correct?
Yes.
Very cost effective too. Moving on, I want to ask you about inflammation, keeping inflammation down without prescription and over-the-counter drugs. So nothing that's going to tear up our liver.
We all feel a little bit better with less inflammation. And my favorite way to do it is with diet. And if you're willing to change your diet, then we'll be a good team. If you still want to eat your donuts, then I'm probably not the right doctor for you. Especially if you have a lot of inflammation in your body, sugar's not your friend. Sorry. Fried things aren't your friend. And yeah, I love to change up diet and improve inflammation, whether it's inflammation in the skin or inflammation that's causing someone pain like arthritis. It's amazing what you can do when you change your diet.
And supplements too, as well, right?
Yes, and I like to use supplements to speed things along when we see a definite purpose for them, and I can get real specific. I don't like everybody on the same thing. What you need and makes you feel better is completely different than what I need makes me feel better. Exactly. Yeah, so I use supplements more to speed things along. That's optional. Some people don't like to take pills at all, but some people want to get better as soon as they can get better, and then we'll throw some supplements in.
That's awesome. And speaking along the same lines with inflammation and sugar and all of that, I learned something very interesting from Dr. Renee with one of our conversations. I am a starch junkie as far as, I thought I was being good. I was eating, potatoes. I mean, that's like in the produce section, right? Potatoes. I had to change from white rice to brown rice or parboiled rice. But then I had a conversation with Dr. Renee and found that wasn't still so great for me. You want to explain to us about the grains and the wheat?
Sure. A large percentage of my clients, we work on their microbiome, that intestinal flora that is made up from the food that we've eaten over a lifetime. But literally changing your diet for a week, you can change up your microbiome. And what a lot of people don't realize is when they eat things that feed the bad bacteria, which are things like whole grain wheat bread, brown rice, the things that we were told were healthy, they're feeding the bad bacteria. And I pull a lot of clients off of that and put them on healthier diets and lots of fruits and lots of vegetables. With that, I encourage 9 fruits and vegetables a day. And so that would be 3 fruits to 6 vegetables. So for every single fruit, you want to have 2 vegetables. And some people that seems like a lot, but look at your diet and see. And then look at your waistline and see. If your waistline says, oh, it's bigger than it should be, then you need to add more fruits and vegetables, change up your microbiome, not eat the polysaccharides and the disaccharides that feed that bad bacteria that grows in your gut or gets an infection in your gut. This is one of the keys for autoimmune, diverticulitis, I have some amazing Crohn's patients that they've just changed up their diet and now they live a different life than they did before. They're back at work, moving up, getting raises, not ever missing work because they're sick, not going to the hospital anymore. But the microbiome, that's probably the weakness in America. Our, what we call the standard American diet, and in my group of colleagues, we call that SAD. Well, it's a pretty sad diet because it includes way too many grains. And I don't take grains away from people forever, but I do have them a healing phase and a maintenance phase. And in the healing phase, a huge percentage of the population, we have to take grains away, potatoes, corn, rice, whether it's brown rice or whole grain rice. Yeah.
Well, I remember standing there at the grocery store looking around going, oh my God, what am I going to eat that I'm going to feel full? Because that's how we've been conditioned. Like, if you're not eating some type of a starch with your meal, you're not going to get full, and I think kind of looking back over history that mentality probably came from, lost my word there, the time when the war was going on and there was not enough food to go around. So to make their stomachs feel full, they had to start introducing more rices and potatoes into their diets than they did at one time. And I think it just kind of stuck, with us, because now these children back then were raised on that. So they raised their kids on that, and so on down the line. And I know I was a starch junkie. I could eat potatoes and rice like nobody's business. But let's move on to oxygen. Making sure our body is provided with plenty of oxygen. How do we do this?
How do we make sure your body is provided with plenty of oxygen? Well, one thing, I make sure that your blood sugar is balanced, because when your blood sugar is high or low, it affects the oxygen delivery. If you have anemias or you're deficient in B12, this also affects oxygen delivery. And long-term, what this affects is brain. And we think of when we're trying to prevent cancer, cancer is one of those things that thrives in a low oxygen environment. But when you have plenty of oxygen, then you are less susceptible to cancer. Oxygen and oxidation, they go hand in hand. We have to have oxygen to survive, but we don't want to be over-oxidized. And that's where we come into the antioxidants and the free radicals. Where eventually we're all going to oxidize out. That's how life is. But it's kind of like laying a pipe in the front yard and letting it rust, or bringing it in your house where it's climate controlled. It's going to rust a lot more slowly and gracefully in the climate controlled. So that's what we do with our diet, is we try and improve the oxygen delivery.
Okay. That's awesome. And what I love about this is most of this has to do with our food. So it's not even like having to buy, thousands of dollars worth of, supplements or, these fancy, different concoctions. I like that your approach to this is with our food. I think that's important to note, because, we're all under this assumption that we have to take a pill for something, or, it's not going to work if it didn't come from a pharmaceutical company, which I think really is killing us. My personal opinion. To put that
yeah, that's not a good subject to start on with me.
No. Me either. So,
and I'm way too small to take on the pharmaceutical industry. Yeah. But yeah, if I can help people to improve their life and their body chemistry so that they don't need any more prescriptions, that's fine. I still encourage people to go to the prescriber and have them review, why was I on this? Look, it's better now. Can I go off of it?
Right. Yes. No, I'm not advocating for not taking any prescriptions at all. I just think that, sometimes you see these commercials that they put on the TV. Well, first of all, they're advertising to you and I can't even write my own prescription. So
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. And the small print that comes up real fast at the end of the commercial, this might kill you. It might make you want to commit suicide. What?
Exactly. So I have a headache, but taking this, I might end up with diabetes and, or death. So I know that's an exaggeration, but you get the point.
Right.
So
And is the side effect worse than the disease? That's always my question. So
exactly. Yeah, and I crack up at some of these. You got dry skin and psoriasis, so take this pill, but it's going to cause urinary tract infection and this and that. And it's like,
yeah.
I would have rather put the lotion on and just dealt with it. But
Well, skin is very reflective of your overall health. And, now I've been doing this too long. And when I look at people's hair, skin, and nails, I know too much. So, well, when things show up in your skin, that's when you want to go, okay, what's causing this? What can I do to overcome this?
And, I'm glad you mentioned that, because I am currently going through, trying to change diet and things like that. And I noticed, I never, even as a teenager, I really didn't have a lot of problem with acne or anything like that at all. Once in a while, the little pimple or something like that, because, teenage girls, we don't always take our makeup off or wash our face like we're supposed to. But as an adult,
hormones play a huge factor as well.
Yeah. As an adult, I really haven't had a lot of skin issues, like that, other than, the hot flashes once in a while I get flush, but skin itself, I haven't really had a whole lot of issues until I changed my diet and eating habits. And I noticed all of a sudden all this stuff, I'm breaking out and I'm going, oh my God, I'm not this kid anymore. But I do realize, because our skin is our largest organ, the toxicity, that big red chart that you did on me, it's coming to the surface and it has to get out. So otherwise it would probably be an overload on my kidneys and my liver and all the other toxin.
Well, and that's one of those, we want to make sure that we detoxify you at the right rate, enough that your skin can handle it, your kidneys can handle it, your liver can handle it, your energy level can handle it. If it takes your energy way down, then we back off a little bit.
Right.
So interesting. Yeah.
Well, why don't you tell us about a typical office visit and consultation? Let us know how that works.
Okay. A typical initial consult with me, I have you fill out a whole bunch of paperwork. I have you bring in a 3-day diet log, as well as any supplements or prescriptions that you're taking. If you have recent lab work, I like to have that. If not, we can order lab work. I charge $100 for that. It's typically about 2 hours. We put aside 2 hours on my schedule, and I recommend client schedule as well. And I learn about you as much as I can. I tell people the more I know, the more I can help. And then we set a plan from there. I don't take any insurance, but I have completely covered under health savings account or flex spending plans. And if you can get tests inexpensively, all the better. If not, we can get them. And that's it. We just go from there. And every single individual is a little bit different. And I always encourage clients when they come in the first time to bring the person they eat with. That's the person that would either support or sabotage their new plan.
Right. That is big too, especially when it comes to, your meals and stuff, because if you've got a family that you're feeding besides just you, other people are going to be like, I don't want to eat this stuff.
Exactly. Yes.
And you're eating this and having to watch them eat those good foods. I've seen a woman's testimony about how she had overcome cancer, and she talked about one of the things that she had to do was change her diet, and she was doing these smoothies, these green smoothies, and it was at Thanksgiving time, and she said I sat there with my smoothie in the corner like this, just staring at everybody, and saying, in her head, I hate you. You get to eat the turkey and the this and the that. But so you don't want that to be your everyday, meal, looking at everything else you're feeding your family and while you got to eat the stuff.
No, and I'm not opposed to green smoothies. Definitely not. They're wonderful. And I'm a smoothie advocate. That's my favorite thing to have for breakfast, because you can put any nutrient in there that you want and you won't even know it's there. You make a smoothie so it's your own taste. But I try to teach people how to live in the real world. You know, how to eat when you go to Thanksgiving dinner, how to eat when you have an awkward social situation. You know, people that start with me, they have to be really motivated, you know, because I'm not going to be there. If you need to call me or text me when you're buying groceries, so be it. I'm available. But when you are in that awkward social situation, no, people aren't going to call me and say, what do I tell my family? They didn't make anything for me to eat. So, yeah. Any other questions, Angel?
No, I think we pretty much covered everything. I want to thank you for being with us today. Thank you for sharing so much of your wisdom and knowledge. I'm looking forward to continuing to work with her, with you, with her to my audience, but with you. I'm looking forward to seeing what the future holds for me in my health and in changing everything. I'm so glad that I found you.
Angel, in your change of diet, and I've seen this with many new clients, they start and they get a week or 2 or 3 weeks into the diet and they go, I don't even have to lose weight. I feel so good that I'm good. I'm just going to eat like this the rest of my life. And once people realize how good they can feel, it's not so hard. It's one thing that, you know, you turn that donut away because it's going to put on a pound or 2. That's not a big deal. But if you realize that that's going to inflame your body and take your great feeling that day down to, oh, I'm tired or fatigued, it's completely different. And that's what I like to teach people in the long run, is that motivation that makes them feel great and energetic.
I call that the Tony Robbins.
There we go. There we go.
Because he teaches about associating stuff that is really not good for you as poison in your mind, and then
exactly
stuff that is good for you, you know, as good positive things, so that you get really excited about that. So that was a good analogy.
Yeah. He's definitely one of my motivators. I love his talks.
He is awesome. Well, thank you, Renee, for being here with us today and sharing everything. I am looking forward to continuing to work with you. And thank you, the audience, for being here with us today. Like and share our video if you got something out of it. If you didn't, then I'm sorry. But we will put Dr. Renee's information, contact information, website below this video. Thank you so much, and y'all have a wonderful day.
All right. Thank you, Angel. Have a great day.
Thank you. You as well.